So, how have you been since the last time I saw you? Some while back.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago, was it?
Yeah, cause I said to Fiona, I said, "Oh, do you know what? I think I'll go upstairs and do another pub." She went, "Really?" I went, "Yeah, I'm becoming a bit of an alcoholic, I think." There's not much else to do. Do you know what she was doing? She was watching the repair shop. Let me change the camera.
Yeah, because you're talking over there, but you.
Yeah. Who's he talking to? Hey, there we go. Let's change it to robot.
There we go.
There, we're all in
Yeah.
there.
So, anyway, she's watching repair shop. Okay. And I go, "Oh," she goes, "What's the matter with you?" I said, "Well, what do you think I've been doing all day?" She goes, "Well, working on keyboards." And now I'm going to watch other people repairing things. I said, "Busman's holiday, isn't it?" I said, "Give it a rest, girl. Don't want to come in and watch other people doing what I've just been doing all day."
Not quite.
And I'll tell you what, this ARP Odyssey needs to fucking die. Oh, God. Bastard thing. It drives me mad. So, yeah. So there you go.
Well.
So Kent, when we're looking at your studio now, you're just flipped around, right? This was the back side of your studio?
I used to be here.
Oh shit. Okay.
Now it's over.
Oh, I see. So it's sideways. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but
So
there's,
the camera's now on the same wall as the CS8.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. So, and it's a lot more room in here now.
It feels like it does.
Yeah, I mean,
it looks
there's
good.
so much stuff not in here anymore. It's
Where is it?
It's either, well,
Not
I mean,
there.
what used to be all set up permanently for no apparent reason because I was never touching it, is now stored here. And then if I want to use, say, a mini Moog, I pull out a mini Moog, I put it on an X stand and use it.
As one does.
Yeah, and then if one doesn't want to use it anymore, one puts it back into its little slot.
Okay.
So, and that's, I don't know, I haven't really, used it in anger yet, but I'm hoping that will work out.
The Hydrosynth looks great there.
I love this thing, I really do.
Jealous. Yeah.
This gets, I mean, even though 9 times out of 10 I'm using it as a controller.
Yeah. You're touching it. It's really loving.
It's sort of like a modern day 80.
No.
Well, in the sense that it gives response to what I'm doing to it. You know, where you get like you can have a keyboard which is just note on, note off, and there's no feedback. From the poly aftertouch on this, I'm getting the sort of feedback that I was getting from Rowley and the 80. So it's a firm favourite, I must admit.
Yeah.
But although it's, the same keyboard that's in the 49, I don't know what it is. It feels different to the keyboard in the 49.
Oh, it does feel. Okay.
Yeah. But if you were to say, ask me like, well, in what way? I go, just how it feels. Cleo.
Yeah, it didn't take that long. It did not take long. It's pretty. It's amusing to me because I may be in here sometimes and not see her, but boy, stream comes on. She comes out of nowhere.
She knows where she's loved.
Yeah.
I used to have a cat that was very similar in patternation, but the brown was black. So she was a black tortoiseshell.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
She lived to about 19, I think, bless her.
Wow.
Yeah. And she survived, we got her in 70, must have been 75, 76.
Yeah.
And then we moved from that house to another house. And then my mum left my dad and we went with her. And the cat stayed with Dad, but Dad didn't really, he wasn't a cat person. And we used to go back for weekends. And she'd mostly be there, but she'd started to wander because he probably wasn't, looking after her properly, even though he was maintaining it. Anyway, yeah. So we go over one weekend. She's gone missing. He hadn't seen her for ages. Turns out one of my mum's old friends had taken her in. So she'd now established herself in a new home. But I was like, no, fuck off, that's my cat. So we went knocking on the door. I said, look, can I have my cat back, please? And I, oh, but she's settled here. I said, I don't care, she's my cat. I'll go and get my dad. And so, yeah, because she was a friend of my mum's, she sort of said, okay, all right. So she came. So we then took her to where we were then living, because my mum had got remarried. So she got used to a whole new environment and cats and dogs, you know, that she was unfamiliar with. And she lived to the ripe old age of 19. And I'd left home. I got a phone call one morning saying, Lucy's gone. And I said, oh, what? Like gone? She said, no, you know, dead gone.
No.
And I said, oh. And she said, yeah, apparently she got up, you know, Mum got up in the morning, fed her, Lucy had her breakfast, she went out, obviously did her business, came back in, curled up on her little bed underneath the table, and just went.
Oh.
And I thought, that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Ideally, yeah.
That's the absolute way it should be. She's lived a full life, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so,
Whilst I am sad, you know, I was sad, but I was happy in a way that she didn't get run over. She didn't have to get put.
No, yeah, suffering.
She lived 19 years, was loved by lots of people, and just went to sleep. I thought that was pretty cool. Anyway.
Well, after nursing one dog with bone cancer, one with cancer of the throat, and one with a heart condition, I can attest to the fact that that is absolutely the best way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely.
One with a heart condition. Oh my god, how did that happen? That is absolutely weird.
Oh, incoming.
It just like turned on.
Ken, just out of interest, what browser are you using?
I am using Opera.
Okay. So there's a tiny little bit of clicking. It's stopped now, but...
From me?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. Can you hear that, Dave?
Yeah.
It says la 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 la
No, it's
la.
not doing it now. See, now I'm scared of David. Which I can understand.
Yeah, I'm not listening. Doing something else.
La 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 la. Listen to me clicking. No.
You're not clicking now. No.
Okay.
Git.
Yeah, clipping I could understand, but clicking? No, I don't know. That. Oh, incoming. Whoop.
And where is it? Recognise that?
No.
It's Mellotron. It's used on Yeah Yeah Yeahs. Heads Will Roll. It's the Roxy Music Bank.
Oh, okay.
I didn't realise until much later than probably everybody else.
Yeah.
That there is a bank in here. And where is it? There you go. So. Name that song. Come on. David, you should know this. You're a worldly guy.
It's a lot of pressure.
Do it one again. And then it goes right into the song.
Sounds like the ELP thing, but
anybody in the chat recognise that?
No, I don't know.
There you go. See, someone switched on.
Ah.
Hey, Bungalow Bill.
Oh, geez.
What did you kill?
Yeah.
Bungalow Bill. Hey. I didn't
album?
realise that was in there for ages.
No, what album is that?
Because it's under a band called Bill and Vincent,
Oh,
and I'm like, oh wait, did I do that again?
You did it again.
And if you click on it, you just think, oh, what's Bill and Vincent? And I was going through, because this is the other one. And now, live from Norwich, it's
Quiz of the week.
yeah. But yeah, then I played that. I thought, oh, I know that
Ah.
White Album.
I see.
nice.
And that's Unserviced Mellotron.
Yeah,
Sounds like that
only
bloody Odyssey.
$500 pedal you can get now with a little bit of wow.
Yeah.
We'll add it in for you.
Actually, it does remind me of that bloody second-hand copycat we bought.
Mm.
Oh man, it'd be playing fine and then just go for no apparent
He's
reason.
clipping. He's clipping. He was
I was clipping. I was clipping again, wasn't
Clicking, not clipping.
Yeah, I did hear it.
Thank you.
it? Right. Okay. Was I doing this, pray tell, under Firefox?
Don't think you were, but then you weren't doing it under Opera, allegedly.
Yeah, I wasn't on Opera because we were having clipping problems before, and then when I went from Safari to Firefox, it went, if I remember rightly.
Here's the one I was thinking of.
Ah,
I see where you're at.
But it's very different, and then it gets fancy. Ready?
Sorry, Keith, I didn't realise I didn't have my
Have to
microphone
stop
turned
it.
for you. Yeah, because I know you don't get it.
Fucking. Oh shit! So stupid.
I mean, half of these songs I haven't heard. I've still only got up to, I think, Eric Satie. I'm still working my way up.
Oh shit! Yeah, go.
What the hell? Oh, right, yeah, sorry.
Oh, that sounded cool. Stereo on that.
That's coming through stereo.
Oh yeah. That's huge. Yeah.
It should do, because it's the...
Yeah, because you hit one note and it came out just the left speaker at one point. It's really cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's switching. It's playing. It's this music you speak of.
I do like that.
Well, who wouldn't?
I think you got yourself a hit.
I think Eric Satie. Eric
I think we
Satie.
better sign this guy up.
Jim Nipodi. I do.
You don't know much about music in Texas. You know about money.
Crackling.
That's what I thought. I wonder what's causing that. I suppose I could come out and come back in Safari,
Safari Security.
dressed in my lederhosen, perhaps. let me see. Because we know that if I leave, the whole world doesn't cease to exist while I'm gone, does it?
Apparently.
Fortunately. Here we go, right?
Let's try. Cleo, hold on.
I know that.
Hold Cleo's
I
pulse.
think this...
Ah, sucker! He falls for that clipping thing every time.
Oh, dear.
Alright.
I think I'll leave that tagline up there.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Give us some chords. Give us some chords, because it works with decent volume.
Okay, some Eric Satie.
Go on then. The camera, look at it. Look at it.
Yeah, I know. Crackling?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. All right, so Opera can do one.
I wonder, is it chrome? Is it chromium thing? Is it rather just a chrome thing?
Le quoi? Is this sonic state? No, and I can prove it. Fuck. Bollocks, wanker. This is how you know.
I missed half of it. 'Cause
This
I was-
music technology show is unique in that way.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed. Well, obviously we missed the beginning because we were doing a thing, and then I missed the rest of it because I had to go on that work call. So all I got was all these people going like this, but I couldn't hear anything. So I need to go and catch up. I think I know what they were probably talking about most of the show, but
Well, the bit I saw, I must admit.
now where are you?
I'm here.
No, sorry. Yeah,
Oh.
I know you're there.
I'm always here.
No. Oh, yes, because I put.
It is a common trait of the agoraphobic to always be here.
Yes, always be there.
Yeah.
Always be where you last left them.
Just drop them off, and he'll be there.
And there he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pull back the cover. There he is. It's sort of like a shit magician, and it's sort of like, yeah, but he was there before, mate.
Yeah, yeah, we know that's true.
he,
We
was
know
there
you.
he was there last week.
Let's see how fast this loads up.
Yeah, Cleo. This is you. Your hand.
Oh, I had.
Oh, the Mooka thing was the opening topic, apparently. I did miss the
Yeah.
opening
Yeah,
of
that's
Sonic
probably-
That's
Stage.
what I saw. I saw that, and then they did what? Fuck, some weird shit.
Interestingly enough, I missed the opening
physics.
of Sonic State because I was punching an Odyssey in the face. Good evening, sir.
Good evening,
Hey,
chaps.
you-
So you have your Odyssey white face, you have Odyssey black face, and then you have your Odyssey punch in the face.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Or blooded face, as it were. Now, this is a white face that's given me so much grief. Mind you, if you saw what it was like when it came here, it's a wonder. I tell you how bad it was. Even the light in the on switch wouldn't work.
Wow.
That's how bad it was. You move a slider and it came away in your hand. You know, it's sort of like, oh. The white, you know, the actual stem of the slider.
Mm.
Yeah, it was fucked, lad.
Here you go. You want some Sati? Here you go.
Go for it. Has he had another strop?
He's had a stroke by the sounds of it. Oh, what's going on there then?
He wasn't a well man, was he?
He wasn't. Why? Or is that just because? Oh yeah.
Yeah, just not this Odyssey, I say.
Oh,
Are you not?
Yes, John Cage.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you selected John Cage MP3 there.
yeah.
There's something there.
Oh, here we go.
It's missing a whole bunch of stuff. That's weird.
Over on tea break. Oh, hang on then.
Why is that not playing?
What we're listening to?
There's a shitload of it missing.
There is, and I
Isn't
don't
there?
know why.
There's a lot of instruments not there, as it were.
So everything's on, or is it? Is it? Ooh.
You can't beat a really big software-run piano. Alright, hang on.
I have no idea why that's not full firing on all cylinders. Very strange.
Jimbo.
Hello.
Oh, fuck me.
Nice one. Is that the jazz version?
There's Dawson.
Yeah.
Oh, God, keep it. No, but honestly. I'm sure I know it better than this.
Don't think too hard.
Piano sounds nice. Sounds nice. So is the pub going to become something every night now? Because
Full on alcoholics now.
Yeah, but it's a pub though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oi!
Roll that
Knees up, mother.
barrel.
Yeah. My old girl's a hooker.
It's going to get a bit Derek and Clive, let's face it, if you go down that.
Oh yeah, go down that road. I retrieve lobsters from her arse. Tap, tap, tap on my window, 2 o'clock in the fucking morning. Tappy, rap, tap, tap. Guess who it was? Fucking Greta Garbo. Oh, is that right? Yeah. Asking me to extract lobsters from her arsehole. It's classic
Derek and
stuff.
Clive wouldn't be allowed now, would it?
Do you know what I say
dunno.
to that? Fuck 'em.
Yeah.
I don't care.
This is gonna work.
'Cause
I think this
There's
orchestra is
two albums.
unionised.
yeah,
They're on strike.
2 albums, wasn't it?
No, no, no.
Ad
Yes.
nauseam. What was the other one?
Oh God,
Fresh liver.
Was it?
was it
Was it? No.
No.
I was one
I
am I
had ad
thinking?
nauseam. Know that.
something like that? Yeah.
Mm. And the cover was a load of sick, if I remember right.
So it looks like only the clarinetist and the bassoonist turned up for this session, and then somebody in the corner hitting a very large cardboard box.
Oh yeah, Kent, I fixed that stylophone.
We did. What was it in the end?
Right. You know how they have the weirdest switches in the world,
Yes.
which are like those weird sort of rock switches with like
Yeah.
3 leaf
Yeah.
springs,
Yeah.
and then the silver contacts on the circuit board.
Yeah.
Well, I'd obviously previous time I'd taken it apart and cleaned all the switches out and everything, cleaned all the contacts. You know, it all looked fine. It was like seemed to be making contact fine, and then I got it out the other day. I thought I need to actually open this up and have another look at it. And I'm just looking at the other side of the circuit board to where all the switches are, and I'm like, those joints look dry. I'm like, so I just thought I'll just reflow one of them because I know it's a bit dodgy because like there's, I'm not sure if there's like pins going through the board or something. It's a bit weird.
Yeah.
And anyway, I reflowed like the joints on one switch, and it worked perfectly. I'm like, fucking hell. So I just did them all, checking each one as I went, and it gradually just all came back to life.
Kind of like, yeah.
And if it's perfect, good as new.
Nice.
And the volume control as well. That just sort of the traces are just lifted off the board, so I just had to sort of expose a bit of track and patch that over. But yeah, it's absolutely like
That's good when that happens.
as good as when it was new, and all the original parts still. So
Brilliant.
it's yeah, fluke.
No, it happens. It does happen.
Yeah.
No, it's probably dropped on its face or something like that originally, and then
I think it's just gradually the pressure
yeah,
going through, sort of basically sort of pushing on that side of the circuit board and making the joints on the other side or crack and
just
go
flexing
dry.
the board
Yeah.
slightly. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Amazing.
Mm.
Yeah, cool thing. Like the pedal input and the wire and stuff on it. It's like
Yeah.
mental.
Which one is it? Is it the one with the two
Yeah.
two starlight?
Two
Yeah.
Starlight, yeah.
Yeah.
The one they used to demonstrate on the little floppy record
Yeah.
with old Rolfie.
I've got
see
the
what it
original
is.
there somewhere. I'm switched on for years.
Yeah.
It hasn't got any batteries in. You'd be glad to know.
Well, I mean, one of the things about them is they run at like 18 volts for those two like PP9s. And there's a chip in there that literally dies at 19 volts.
Yeah.
It's just like it's got no headroom, before it
Yeah.
dies at all. It's,
You'd be surprised how many cents do that.
yeah.
Mm. Yeah, but if I remember rightly, I think when it first came out, Stylophone was, I think it was £40. I think it was about £39.50 or something like that.
Expensive,
Mm.
was it?
Well, it was for 75
Yeah.
or 6 or whatever
Yeah.
it was.
Well, it's
But that
60
350 was 150 quid,
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a big old thing.
Mm.
and you could literally buy a fleet of taxis for that back in them days, couldn't you? Yeah, we went all the way up to Hamleys. I was just desperate to have a 350 because we couldn't find one anywhere, and they said, "Oh, we can get one in for you." And I was like, "Hey," like that. And they said, yeah, it's £150. My mum went, "Bye."
Ah, little did she know.
Yeah, or she did in the end.
Well,
God bless her. But she was a massive, massive fan of the 80. Absolutely loved them. So when I said I was going to specialise in them, the house was going to be full of them, she went, "Yay!"
I've got a stylophone drum machine.
Steady on.
Thomas.
Is that the later one? Is that the round one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 300 to 400 quid for
Yeah.
350S
I remember them coming out.
working there.
Yeah, they're fetching it now.
So how much is the original one worth then? Because I might sell mine.
Probably a pretty penny, in fact.
I
Yeah.
don't have the box. It's a pity I don't. If I had the box, I'm sure it'd be worth more.
Yeah, but you know what?
Yeah.
Those stylophone boxes were not made of the highest quality of
No.
polystyrene,
No.
were they?
What's a stylophone for that?
No, exactly.
No, that's true enough.
It's built slightly better than a Moog Rogue.
Oh.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Bloody useless, but
Yeah,
I've got a stylophone round here somewhere.
They were distributed by John Hornby Skews, and he asked us to stock them. And we said we never sell them, so we never bothered.
what's the best price you can do on a 700 FS? Mr. Cork D, the man.
You should have picked.
Let me just check.
There was
Although
what?
I may not be able to say it live on camera.
Well,
Yeah.
I can always send. I'll send you a message, Rob.
Send it in
Let me-
code.
Well, let me. It's interesting. I think they've got quite a few of them because
They are pushing them, aren't they?
yeah. Did you see what he calls video?
Yeah, I
Today.
posted it today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
but they have been making a thing of it, haven't they?
Yeah, because considering
Very
it's
nice though.
supposed to be just as a special edition. What?
What way could put?
Oh, what did I say? Get yourself in the
Today's-
naughty corner, Wagyu.
This week's cover of Private Eye.
I saw it. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at the bottom,
Oh, brilliant.
fucking nailed it.
Ian's just working out his massive profit margin.
Well, actually, what the problem with Korg is that they tell me the trade price,
Mm.
but they don't tell me. There's no recommended retails anymore because they got their fingers burnt
Yeah.
with all that and
Yeah.
everybody else. So I'd have to just do a search to see what everybody else is doing it at and see if I can. Do the
Tree
same.
Fitty.
Yeah.
They're
They've
all doing
got
it
stock. I can say
Tree
that
Fitty.
for sure. I mean, so they have got them in stock.
Yeah, I'm finding it incredibly difficult to resist.
Really?
I have to say,
Hmm.
it's
What's
very
it
different.
you're
It is
talking about?
different to the one, the prototype that I played with. It didn't have half the stuff that the
No.
finished one's got. You know, there was none. It was very limited arpeggiations. Arpeggiations, is that even the word?
It is now.
It is now.
Said it.
And obviously there was no manual. There was none of the library was ready. None of that sort of stuff. You know. So it is a completely different beast to what
Mm.
you know. I said at the time that I thought it was too expensive, but well, it was until we knew what you were actually going to be shipping it with.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm.
Korg 700S FS. I always said that I thought they might bring, with it being the FS, that they might bring out a mini key version.
I have to say, it's a beautifully built instrument. When I got my hands on it, it's
Yeah.
The original
Tactile.
or the new one.
a new one.
Well, the original
Feel-
wasn't too shabby.
The original is better.
Mm.
The switches are better.
Oh.
Yeah.
I actually managed to break one of the switches. Because
You
On the
really
original-
piss Korg off now, don't you?
no, not at all. On the original, the switch spike is all metal,
Mm.
and they're plastic on the new ones. I mean,
Oh,
the
right.
rest of it is really heavy and it's really
Mm.
well built. Case is lovely, although do you need a case that good? In that sense,
Yeah.
you know.
True.
So
I'm saying that a lot of Korg cases are not very good at all. So,
Mm.
which ones?
like the mini log, stuff like that. It feels like
Oh,
a
right.
piece of crap.
I
I used to go to Goodwill and just get suitcases and then get extra bubble wrap and
Yeah.
just tape them, you know. I did that for a long time when I was like doing hardware, like little damn
Yeah.
panels and stuff. Yeah, I had a couple of really nice old-fashioned suitcases and just
Well,
bubble wrap.
up until very recently, my Moog Sub 37 was going to gigs in an old cricket case, like leather cricket
Oh,
case
nice.
for your pads and bats and stuff like that. It was my dad's from years ago.
when I used to gig my 700,
Hello, you.
I actually built a case for it because obviously you couldn't buy a case
Yeah,
back in the 80s.
back in the dark
So,
ages. Yeah,
Back in, it was the dark ages.
yeah.
I used to turn up and go, what's that?
We're talking to Korg. In a couple of weeks, I am taking delivery of a PS 3300. That is just needs me to do a final go over and just top and tail.
That's for
Uh,
Richard.
It's been sold. Anybody care how much?
Oh, I'm 5 figures before the decimal point.
Go on. Any ideas?
37,500.
Close.
Ooh.
107. 107,000.
What
Bloody hell.
the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. Which end's that coming out of? Oh, mother
Oh, look, I've called the dogs.
smells.
Oh, here comes Fiona.
Hi, baby girl.
Oh, well, I've just been to the loo, so I brought you this.
You've just been to the loo. Oh, thank you. Is this your own?
Yeah,
Oh, excellent.
made it myself.
Ambrosia of the gods. Mm.
Rob,
Oh, it's still warm.
PMT online.
I hope not.
are
I don't
selling
taste you.
The 700 FS at less than trade.
Whoa.
You're going to steal it, aren't you? You're just going to nick it out the back of the van.
Oh, they are cool looking.
I mean, Andertons are doing it at 1600, which is about right. And I was hoping to knock 50 quid off that, but I've just seen if they've got it in stock. Even if they haven't, they could probably order it.
This is where you ask Ian to do it at less than PMT.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. See what I mean?
Email us your final offer.
Now, I'm sorry, but that means that Korg have done a deal with PMT to be able to sell it at that price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I can't match that.
Sausages were squeezed.
No.
Wow.
So that's and I mean, I've not spoke to Korg for a while because our area manager has left.
Yeah.
So Adam's gone, which is a shame actually, because Adam's a really good guy, you know. And I contacted him just before, and his last week he sent us all an email, and I rang him up and said, you know, bloody hell mate, what are you going to do? Anyway, he's got a job working, selling pianos, I think.
Piano.
You know. But he's been there 8 years. And
The old Joanna.
I won't say what he said at the end.
David, you got all quiet, mate.
Cleo's putting me to sleep. Confirm. I just put an offer. Oh, here we go. Wait a minute. Let's see what the menu. Let's see what the best deal. I just put a. I don't know why I did it, but
I tell you what,
yeah,
I
let's put
would,
it all from Hydrocent, 49 key Hydrocent, less than $1,000. Yeah.
I would sell that and buy a new one.
The one I'm
Because
buying right
I'd,
now.
I'd like the second oscillator,
Mm.
Oh,
you know. But it's too rich for my blood at the moment. Even if I'd probably get what, 700 for that, something like that.
For what?
how much?
700. The
You
original
get 700 for the 700?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah. Let's have a look.
Was she an S?
No.
No, it's just original. Unless they've dropped in price. Original 700, 945.
Yeah. What sort of condition is she in?
Mine.
Yeah.
Or just it's
Oh,
the only thing.
That bad.
That needs. The only thing that's it's not even scratchy, but is a little needs a bit of a service. Is the tuning pot.
Mm.
Takes me a few minutes to actually get it into tune. That's the only thing. Everything else is working fine. It has been modded. It's got a it's not a CV out, but it's got some sort of bloody out thing. I've never been able to work it out.
it hurts out.
Yeah, there is a way of doing it. I know because I saw something on Reddit, but I've never bothered to actually to use it.
Yeah, put it into a Kenton Pro Solo and just switch it to Hertz,
That
and
was
then
it, yeah.
boom, you're done. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you could probably ask Top Dog for that.
Well, the only other thing that's missing is one of the caps off the volume pot is missing, but
Oh.
everything else, it has got a tea stain on it, which is not. I bought it like that.
I got a couple of spare ones. Is it the chrome ones?
It's
What,
the,
tea stains?
Did you buy it in Yorkshire?
No, I bought, do you know where I bought it, Jim? I bought
Go
it
on.
in Derby. I went all the way down to Derby to pick it up.
Brilliant.
It's the
Oh, hang on.
flat
Hang on.
ones.
When did you buy that?
when? Oh,
Yeah.
probably 5-6 years ago.
All right. Whereabouts in Derby?
Oh, I can't remember. I know that I went into this guy's studio and he switched it all on and we had to play with it.
Cool.
Why? You obviously know him.
Possibly. It might be my mate Stephen. I don't know.
It must be, yeah, well, because we still had the shop, so that's been gone 3 years, and it was, and I probably had it. I had no intention of ever selling it, although at one point I did put it on. Yeah, so 6-7 years, something like that. Yeah. The cap is the I think is it the red one that's the one that covers the volume, but it's the flat one, Kent.
Flat one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like the ones that do.
Came through 10 of those out last week.
You did.
No, Kent
Oh no,
did.
Kent did. Yeah.
No, I don't throw
It's like-
stuff like that out.
It's the same size as the one that does the vibrato and the portamento. But I
Alex
think
Ball
it's
has
not.
Yeah,
just said
I
I
know.
should buy.
Yeah, I know the one you mean. I know the one you mean.
I think originally it was red, if I remember rightly.
Mm.
In fact, the one I'm looking at here for 900.
Alex Ball has just told me I should buy his one because he's selling it to fund silly stuff.
What? He's 700.
Yeah,
Has he got an FS?
I believe so.
Wow.
Mm.
Actually,
But can he price match?
yeah.
Yeah,
Can he make as big a loss as Ian?
yeah.
Yeah. We
He's
used
the
to
biggest loser.
I probably said it before, we had that exact same problem with Zoom recorders, you know,
Yeah.
because Gear for Music, apparently they were mates. I was told they were mates with Andrew Vass at Gear for Music, and they were selling them a good 10-15% below trade price.
Wow.
You know, and we rang them up. We had a conversation. No, you know, I'm sure it's Gear for Music doing the Lost Leader. No, it isn't. We know that. You know, we're not stupid. We know you've done a deal. They've got loads of them. You know, so we just stopped selling them.
Economies of scale and scope.
Yeah,
You know,
we sold off the stock that we had at trade.
AD Chandler. Scale and scope.
Yeah,
All about.
and we never stocked them again. And they're a good product. You know.
I know what I was going to ask the collective, particularly Kent.
The hive mind. The hive mind.
Yeah, the hive
Resistance.
mind.
Resistance is futile.
Digital oscilloscopes, cheap
Yes.
ones that are
Yeah.
still reasonable.
Yeah.
Any suggestions?
What, the Korg one?
Not the Korg one. The Korg one's, you know, it is
How-
what it is.
It is
How
what it is.
accurate does it have to be?
Yeah.
Reasonably, you know, sort of in terms of sort of, you know, lower level measurements, you know, sort
Yeah.
of
Yeah, because
So-
basically the cost is relating to the
accuracy.
accuracy of them. Yeah.
So something that can reasonably measure, say, you know, 10, 15 millivolts.
Do you know what? For the life of me, I can't remember the one I've got.
Is it new, old? Or,
It's quite new.
right.
Colour, all that jazz. I think
What's it look like?
sort of white and about that big, by about that big. Nice big screen, loads of
it
controls.
Siglant?
No, that doesn't sound like it. And weirdly, I can't remember what name it is. I must admit, I bought it from RS, so obviously it's got to be at least half the price everywhere else.
I shall have a look. How'd you find it?
God. I just wanted a light portable colour oscilloscope, but it had to be quite a high resolution on it, so I could detect voltage differences in waveforms from VCOs.
Yeah. Has it got a signal generator in it? Or?
Can't remember. It does have a built-in recorder.
FFT? Yeah.
Yeah, and it was two channel. And it was I think it was about. I've got something like about 250 in my head, but
right.
For the life of me, I can't remember what the name of it was.
Is it
very good?
Is it their own make, these RS Pro ones that I'm looking at?
No, what the RS Pro is just rebadged and then stick a few ton on it for the fucking hell of it. Well, hang on a sec. I'll go and find out what it is.
Oh, cool.
I've got to go and close the workshop because I think you left the window open.
Cool.
Which is a common trait this week.
Yes, definitely. I'm not stopping on long anyway. I've got to rehearse my set and for Friday night.
Friday?
Yeah, for Jamie's Blackpool Lee Mom. I'm hoping to be doing, well, if I can get something half decent, do some visuals with it as well.
Oh, good.
So that's all synced up to the Digitact. So
what sort of what are you using for the visuals?
Synesthesia.
Yeah.
Dom, God rest his soul, he got it and was messing around with it a bit. So it's yeah.
Cool. Should be good, mate.
Yeah.
Well, I've given up my slot at the next Yorkie Mum because they're subscribed again.
Yeah.
But I said to Simon, I said, look, if I'm going to come anyway, but if somebody pulls out at the last minute, just give me a shout. I'll stick something in the car. And but I know he was pulling his hair out. He said there was 8 people that he'd actually turned down.
Ooh.
What have we got there?
Your head's got a Rigol. Nice.
Right, so it's a ones.
4 channel. So what?
A ones. WON.
O1. OWON?
Yeah, sorry, O1. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. The O's anyway.
Yeah.
It's the DS5032.
Cool.
So it's big colour screen.
Yeah. Is that touchscreen, that one?
No.
Right.
No. I found that was never close enough to it to be able to reach. I'm always got my head inside some piece of old crap, and the oscilloscope was on away from it.
Cool. Oh, yeah.
It's quite accurate as well.
Excellent.
And there's a USB out, and you can connect it up to computers and all that malarkey.
Cool.
I think they do one now that has a HDMI on the side as well.
Yeah.
And if you've got an 85-inch Sony Bravia handy, have that up on the screen with all the waveforms on it.
Cool. Yeah,
but as for how much they are now, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I think like a lot of things, they've gone up a bit.
Yeah, they always do. Well, we practically make nothing in the country now.
Yeah.
UK is basically a giant service industry with
money
some banking and some banking stuck on the top.
We're good at money laundering.
Yeah.
So. Money laundering, arms dealing, selling off public services. What else do we do?
Because I don't think even Kit Kats are made here.
No, they're not.
No.
Because they used to be made in York.
Yeah.
Mm.
As a kid, we used to get a visit round Roundtree Macintosh, as it was then. And it was, I mean, the Roundtree family were brilliant because they built a village for their workers. Did an awful lot for healthcare back in the 19th century. And then obviously Nestle bought them out, and over the last 20 years, maybe 30 years, they've just shifted more and more of it abroad. So in fact the old Roundtree Macintosh factory, I drove past it the other day. It's going to become flats.
Yeah.
The old Roundtree's factory here in Norwich was turned into a shopping centre about 10, 15 years ago.
Because what I discovered now is you can't buy decent chocolate raisins.
Well, I haven't bought any Nestle products for probably nigh on 30 years. Mainly because when Nestle bought them out, I mean, Nestle's got, like a lot of these big conglomerates, they've got some really dodgy practices. And I remember at the time there was something to do with a small third world country owed them a load of money and they wouldn't write off the bill, and there was people starving. It was all that sort of stuff. So both Jane and I mean, not that it makes an awful lot of difference, but it made me feel better. We haven't bought a Nestle product since then. So and I miss Polos. I think Polos were great.
Yeah.
But they haven't had any of our money since then.
Well, it's like that thing with Dyson, wasn't it? Remember that thing with Dyson? He pushes for Brexit.
Yeah. What a wanker.
And
Brexit and then fucks off to India with it. Yeah, well.
Yeah, complaining about the cost of manufacture in this country.
Yes. Yeah. No.
Sorry, but you fucking cunt. Just
No,
what a
really,
wanker.
honestly, do not get me started on Brexit. It starts with lots of C's and F's and yeah.
Well, because some rich twats didn't want to pay their taxes.
Yeah, well, what's this thing?
Rich tracks never do want to pay their taxes.
What's this thing about?
That's why they're rich.
It was about, what was it? Was it something stupid? I don't know, some ridiculous figure, something like £21.8 billion in fraud by the government or something.
Oh, it was about 34 billion.
Was it 34 billion?
In the COVID crisis.
Yeah.
It's just missing.
Missing.
Just
missing. That's
unaccounted
it.
for, written off.
Yeah.
Sorry, I want my fucking money back, you cunts.
Yeah, but it was interesting that they, by law, have to release the findings. So they released it on the day that Harry had to go to court and bury the fucker. And just to think like that, I thought was what's the word? Very
Machiavellian.
arrogant. Very arrogant. Very arrogant.
Yeah.
And yet it fucking worked.
Yeah, because they control the media.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
So in the meantime, they're going on about, let's talk about Philip Schofield and look at this going on over here. Don't look over there. Look at some.
I mean,
Look at the monkey.
Shit.
Look at the monkey.
Yeah.
Look,
he's having a wank. He's having a wank.
The amount of press coverage that the Philip Schofield story's got. I mean, there were two consenting adults. Yes, all right. There's a power play there.
Yeah.
Because he's this
Or the
famous
potential
guy.
for one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, I actually did watch his interview, and I sort of worried for his mental health to some extent because and I'm quite pleased that the younger chap is anonymous, and I hope to God he stays anonymous, and that the Mirror or the Sun don't find him because I'm sure they're bloody looking.
Yeah.
I think they know who he is. There's just injunctions.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
But
they'll find ways to get around that.
I mean,
Eventually,
I mean, move on because it's just what does it matter?
Yeah.
Well,
But it's something interesting to look at while you're
all
being
this stuff's-
arse
yeah.
fucked.
Yeah,
Why
exactly.
the hell are they asking for ITV executives to sit in front of a board of MPs to be questioned by this? They don't do that with any other.
No.
no.
Like Tom, Dick, and Harry down the road where somebody at the local co-op has had a relationship. Why?
I mean,
their argument, the government's argument will be, or the committee's argument will be, it'll be in the public interest. Actually, it isn't in the public interest.
well, to be honest, this is not the real issue with ITV. I mean, I obviously know a bit more about ITV and stuff because of Zoe and what she knows, and but I think ITV don't have the best track record when it comes to ethics.
Right.
You look at, where was their duty of care over Love Island? There's been 3 suicides.
Yeah.
It's there's definitely a lack of ownership and responsibility in ITV, and I think it's kind of endemic. I don't know.
I watched the documentary on Caroline Flack. I mean, to be fair, I'd never seen Love Island, so until it all blew up, I had no idea who Caroline Flack was. And how she was treated was absolute, by the media predominantly, was just absolutely disgusting. But do you not think that's what happens? Women get more trolling and more bad press than men.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just, something really does need to be done about the way that social media and the media, professional media, behave.
Yeah.
Because
we need, higher ethical standards.
Yeah.
It's
and
kind of
self-regulation
appalling.
of the press.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's never worked. Has it?
No, it's like asking wolves not to fight, not to hunt.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
And yet nobody thought to shoot Rupert Murdoch.
No. But I really felt for Caroline Flack. I mean, it was just to see her mum there, obviously in tears, and
I mean, I
She
haven't
was
seen the documentary.
it's
but,
it's a tough watch, really. It really is.
Yeah.
And like I say, I didn't know anything about her. I mean, I watched it to sort of to find out more about, this, what had gone on, and how she was treated, and it was appalling.
I think we need just higher standards overall in ethics, in business and in media, and fucking certainly in politics.
Definitely.
Well, there's something a little bit ironic about having government MPs, questioning wrongdoings
Oh God.
of
Yeah.
other people. It's like,
Yeah,
how's that fucking work?
Yeah.
exactly. The levels of hypocrisy.
Yeah.
It's just astounding.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Unfucking-believable.
Anyway, I'm going to step off my angry soapbox now.
That's all right, Jimmy. You've vented, mate. You feel relaxed now.
Yeah. Things like, I'm quite a chill person.
I know you are.
It's just
I
like
know you are.
fucking. I just want to take this country and give it a good shake up,
Yeah.
and kind of go,
I mean, ever since Boris Johnson became our Prime Minister, I used to think, well, it can't get any worse. And then it does get worse. And
Yeah.
then you have Liz Truss, and it gets worse. And
Yeah.
it's still no better. And,
No.
all the talk now about Keir Starmer becoming the next Prime Minister, and I'm thinking he's no better because really, to be honest, he's a sort of right-wing.
He's the most right-wing Labour
Yeah,
MP I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. he is.
Yeah.
He's not the right.
No.
I mean, and I'm an ex-Labour Party member.
Yeah.
And I just think he's the wrong person to become Prime Minister. But then again, so is the guy who sat there at the moment. So
oh
Well,
yeah,
I-
he's.
I'm now beginning to...
Oh, you mean the guy who lost the 34 billion?
uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, him.
Yeah,
Oi, Rishi,
yeah.
fishy ball sack. I want my money back.
fishy balls.
I mean, because I live in a really strong conservative area, right?
No shit.
Yeah, but I'm really
Yeah.
hoping that actually Lib Dems, and I will probably be voting Lib Dem when the next general election. They might have a chance of getting in because we've got a guy called Greg Knight here, who his nickname is Silent Night because he literally does nothing. He literally does nothing. The only time you ever see Greg Knight is when it's an election, and then he drives around Pocklington in his car, saying, "Vote for me, vote for me."
Does he have a
vote for me."
Jaguar?
Oh, he's got loads of cars. He's got a whole estate with a load of bloody cars in it, and apparently he plays drums in the parliamentary band.
I bet they're shit.
Yeah, yeah. He never came into our shop to buy his sticks.
I think you might have put them
mate.
somewhere. Oh, dear. Right. Anyway. Sorry.
Well, that was fun.
But yeah, I've really got lots to do actually, because I'm just being over ambitious as usual.
Just ignore it like I do.
No,
Yeah.
You're right to,
Yeah.
you're right to go for it.
My dad was big into politics. Yeah, he nearly ran for Parliament actually. So
The problem is, I'm sure not all politicians are corrupt, not all politicians are bad, but the good guys.
Well, they never rise to the top.
No, they don't.
They don't want good guys at the top.
No.
what's it? My mum says. I think only the cream in the shit rises to the top.
Yeah. I'm not so sure about the cream.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's far more shit than cream these days.
I mean, I have to say, the MP in York, she seems to be doing quite a good job. She's a Labour MP, backbencher, but she's bothered about local things that are happening 15 miles away, And I would certainly be, if I lived in York, I'd certainly be voting for her. Rachel Maskell. She's great. So there are some good people out there, but,
There are.
Yeah,
Just need
but then
more of them
Not
in the
enough
right
of
places. Yeah.
not enough of them.
tear it down.
Yeah, start again.
Tear it down.
Proportional representation.
Definitely. Yeah. Two-party system doesn't work, so let's do something else.
Yeah, Cromwell had the right fucking idea. He knew what to do.
Oh, Waggle says AI. I think Waggle is AI anyway. We all know this because he's Google. But AI will be in charge in 10 years anyway. He knows more than we do.
His name's just been abbreviated. It's actually Wagoogle.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. No, any country that thinks it's a great idea to take a school playing field and build 171 houses that are only 12 foot wide and sell them for 380,000 each are cunts, basically. There you go.
And so all the children
on a floodplain.
All the children that would be going to that school that can no longer fit on the playing field as well. It's just like,
yeah. Well, the one out here is already pretty crowded, and they're going to have 171 houses there, and they're building 5,000 just over here. And there used to be this. It was a beautiful place as well. It was a stables for the disabled. Bulldozed.
It's happening all over the country. I mean, we've got there's a new housing development that's just gone up, or just started. 2 fields on the outskirts of town. So farmers obviously sold the fields off. It's going to be, I think, at least 150 houses. The infrastructure of the local schools and even the health service that we've got here can't cope.
Can't cope now.
No.
It's like this is
But
it.
like you say, you got these farmers selling their fields, right? And then you've got an agricultural minister going on about, yes, we must become more self-sufficient now after Brexit and blah, blah. Yeah, really? What were we doing? Eating clouds, for fuck's sake.
To plant stuff in. And it's not just, like I
They
say,
eat each other. Is that their plan?
It's all over the country. I mean, every little small village and town you go into, there's more development. And
the thing is,
need to be.
the thing is, what there should be is lots of new council housing.
Yes.
Which would bring down the fucking extortionate private rents. Yeah. And keep the money in public service. It would create loads of jobs, loads of employment, loads of knock-on, things for sort of trades as well, and suppliers, and it'd be great for the economy, great for society. You know, there's been no investment in that area in time.
When they've had these private development companies saying, "Oh well, we're going to build so many houses which are going to be," you know,
you mean the ones tagged on the back that are really fucking shitty?
Yeah, or they don't even build them. Something happens and they never get built.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Or
they have
build a
they have their own
like
entrance
that,
in this block of flats, so that the you know, so that the wealthy don't have to mix with the hoi polloi. You know, it's like
4 or 5 years ago, Pockington, our main street flooded. Okay, so it's not the local council; it's the East Yorkshire Council. They allowed the other side of town, another 200 houses to be built, and the deal was that they pay for the floodplain, for the flood development, which I'm assuming they've done. We'll know next time it floods.
Flatty, hell,
you know.
Yeah.
So that was the trade-off. Oh yeah, you can build these 200 houses, you know. So you literally, you know, you go from. There's not a lot. I mean, you know, I'm at the edge of the walls, but actually, it takes me longer to get to the walls now because there's so many bloody houses everywhere. You know.
Yeah.
So what we're going to call our new political party then? The Synth Party.
Oh, do you know what? I was just thinking, when it finishes and it just comes out, that was a party political broadcast on behalf of they're all fucking cunts.
The Tambo Wolves.
Yeah. It's across
You're gonna be cunt.
across the world party.
Yeah.
We've got people from every country.
True enough.
Yeah.
Who was the musician who got asked about, you know, what religion they were, and he said, "I'm a devout musician."
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Oh well, the planet's going to hell in a handbasket, so might as well have a laugh on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We probably won't be around to see it. Sorry.
Thank Christ, life is finite. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
So was Isotope formally bought by Native Instruments, or was that known? I know they were kind of working together, but
They were bought, weren't they?
They entered into a partnership along with Plug-in Alliance and Brainworks, and they put them under was it Soundwise, I think it was called?
Yeah.
Something, yeah.
An umbrella.
Yeah.
And basically what they've done today is they've admitted that the Soundwise brand didn't really stick with customers. So now we're just going to chuck it into Native Instruments because you all know that name. So, but on the other hand, you know, they're now claiming that, you know, you're going to get unified, you know, single sign-on. All your licenses will be in one place.
Oh dear.
Whether it'll be Isotope by Native Instruments or just Native Instruments, and then they drop the Isotope names, it'll just be, it'll just be Native Instruments RX10. You know.
Yeah.
Money talks, doesn't it? So,
I think that's a bad move because I mean, you know, I'm a big ozone user.
yeah,
And I
but
think
these
I'll
are
probably
small
have to-
businesses, you know, really small.
I mean, everybody's
Particularly-
cashing out, aren't they?
The guy that runs Brainworks and Plug-in Alliance, I mean, he's just a fantastic guy. If you've ever seen any of his videos, he's really energetic and enthusiastic. But then they had that massive flood in their studios a few years ago, and it just literally wiped out all of their hardware.
Yeah.
And the community jumped on. He said, "Right, okay, look, you know, we don't want you to just put your hand in your pocket and give us money. We'll give you stuff, and we'll drop the prices on all of these plugins.
Yeah, they did loads of good deals. Yeah.
Just buy the plugins. That way, we're selling stuff. We don't feel guilty. You get to support us, and it kind of got them back onto a fairly even keel. And then, of course, you know, I guess when Native Instruments came along and sort of waved some cash at them, it was probably a good time to cash out and go for it. But yeah, it's all Isotope, Brainworks, and Plug-in Alliance, and now all gonna be under Native Instruments. So.
Well,
I
I,
mean,
didn't I didn't buy the upgrade to 10 because
I just did the other week because it was on stupid offer.
Oh, is it? I mean, I've not been in the account for a while. Mainly because I normally do my mastering with the standalone version. Although your job, Dave, I did do it in a DAW. But I just
How much did you charge?
sorry.
It sounded awesome. It sounded
There you
awesome.
go. That's
You
all
can
that
you
matters.
can almost smell the disappointment from here.
Yeah.
What is it to be doorless?
No, it's not dollars. I have to take the hashtag off.
Tainted it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Excuse me.
But so it's not. I mean, probably. I mean, actually, and it was actually quite a good job to do it like that. I will probably do my next job like that.
Yeah, I don't use Ozone anyway. I just tend to use sort of individual plugins.
Yeah, I mean, and there's lots of stuff out there that are, you know, I mean, I don't really use the mix assistant, although I think it's apparently better in version 10. What I do is when I start, I'll put a track through the mix assistant just to see what it comes up with.
Yeah.
And then start again from scratch is usually how I would do it, you know.
Yeah.
And then see how far, and then I would compare it, you know. And usually, the mix assistant for me is nowhere near. But I do know, you know, Gaz swears by it, doesn't he? You know.
Yeah,
Mind
RX
you, he also uses an analog heat, doesn't he?
Yeah.
No, that's some magic in a box. That is definitely.
RX10 has got me out, or RX should I say, has got me out of a lot of
Oh yeah, RX
sticky
is
positions,
brilliant.
particularly with people with bad microphones or you know, recording in big echoey rooms, which tends to be a lot of electronic musicians because most of them don't do vocals, and so therefore they don't have any decent microphone or any sound treatment or anything like that. So
I've only got RX Elements, which obviously has got. It's not the full version. I've got a job coming up that I need to clean up an old vinyl recording. So I will see if I can do it. If not, I've got a mate who's over in York who's happily, he's got the latest version. He's got version 10.
Yeah.
Who will
I've
do it
used-
for me.
it's witchcraft. It really.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there was something I can't remember what it was. It was a podcast, and I'd got their vocal, and I put it into RX10 and, you know, into the spectrometer, spectrograph, whatever you want to call it, that thing,
Yeah.
and you could see all of the little boomy bits. You could just see them, and you just click on, you know, one of them and say, like, that's what I want to get rid of, and you go.
Oh,
Do.
you
It's
can just see
brilliant.
it all. You can like see someone drilling into a wall. You can see an ambulance siren go past.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, you know, with Doppler effect.
Yeah.
You know, it's,
And
it's
you
just
just-
like
You
How
just
is
tell
it-
it.
How is it for? I mean, I've got a recording which was done. It's a live concert that I did with a singer, probably about, I don't know, eight years ago.
you want to remove the singer.
No, I don't want to remove the singer. She's great.
'Cause you
But
can
I
do that as well.
I do want to remove the reverb on her because
Yeah, it's got
Yeah,
straight
yeah.
off the desk, and the reverb. I mean, God knows what it sounded like out front. If it sounded like that on the desk, the
Yeah.
reverb is so over the top.
Mm.
You know, I want to remove it all. You know.
I
there's-
apologise now.
there is a D reverb on there, and
Yeah.
I can say, yeah, that does work.
Right.
It takes a little. That was certainly the one I did. You know, what I tend to do is I say, well, let's see if the automatic, you know, script can do it. You know, and you've got a few options, and generally it either goes a little too far or not far enough. So then you can just kind of take one of those, get an idea, and then go in. You know, do it yourself
Generally,
manually.
do numerous passes. It works.
Right.
Mm.
Works well in RX.
Yeah.
So you do like a subtle pass, then do another subtle pass rather than trying to do it all in one go.
Yeah.
Tends to be more effective.
But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
I
it's-
upgraded.
It's pretty low on my list
weeks
of
ago.
jobs to do, but maybe next year I'll get
Yeah.
on to doing it and then put it out. If it's good enough and get it going.
We've used it quite a bit at work because we'll often record, you know, telephone conference stuff, and it's sort of medical. It has to be sort of accurate, and sometimes, you know, you get random bits of noise on the line that you know, environmental stuff that you just need to take out. So it's amazing for that. It is voodoo, audio voodoo.
And
Definitely.
I think I first started using Isotope in version 5, 4 or 5 anyway. So long. I mean, I've still got a really old version, a full version of RX, but it's. I mean, it must be no more than it'll be 7 probably, or even 6.
Yeah. I think I've got
So and it's on a PC next door. So I wouldn't even bother. I mean, it's moved on so far since then.
Yeah.
You know.
Totally. Right, I'm gonna go
Okay.
anyway
Mason.
and go and get on with some practicing and video voodoo shit, and hopefully have something to show.
Don't see you before.
on
I
Friday
break
night.
a leg.
I shall. Well, hopefully not
Don't
literally.
break it. Don't break a digitac, but just break a leg.
Yeah.
And don't stub your toe.
No.
Hello, baby girl.
Cool. All right. Take care, everyone.
mate.
Good to
See
see
you
you.
later.
Cheers.
Bye.
See you
Bye.
later.
See you later. Shaky boom boom. Shaky boom boom. Right, go.
Yeah, I resisted RX10 for a while because they still wanted quite a bit of money to upgrade from, and I was on 9, and then
So how much was your upgrade?
49. But that was because there was an offer. I don't know whether it was a limited offer, but I got an email saying save up to blah 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 more than you would normally save, and I went on and it said 49. I thought that'll keep me in step, you know,
Yeah.
because you get 1 or 2 versions out, and then your price doesn't get so good. So I'm happy to pay 50 quid for that, because if I run it on 1 or 2 podcasts, it's paid for
Exactly. Yeah.
itself,
Yeah.
easily. So.
I first got because I won a copy ages ago because I was using it. I had a hooky version that was given by a mate, and then I won a copy on Sonic's Day.
Oh right, yeah.
God, it was
I think
years
my
ago,
goose said
that.
he did as well.
Yeah. So let me log into my Isotope account, which I've not been into for ages, and see what. That piano does sound nice.
Which piano is that?
C7
Oh, it was the C7.
in Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
My loyalty offers are. I don't want Contact 7. You can stuff that. Bloody hell.
Although I just upgraded to that as well,
I don't
because
think
they had a silly money offer on.
I had Contact, a very early version of Contact. Couldn't get on with it at all. So never,
No, I hate it. I only have it so that if I have to review something.
Ozone 10 Advanced Upgrade, $99.
Yeah, no,
So,
they.
although 74 for standard upgrade, but I would want the advanced because I'm on 9 advanced already.
Fucking it. No. No.
Yeah, Wagyu's right. The last few updates in Isotope haven't really added a huge amount, which is it kept that helped me resist for a while, but. Native Instruments had an offer on quite recently.
Yeah,
Well, I checked
2015 was when I won my
Yeah.
solid state version, because up until that was Ozone 6.
Mm.
Up until that, I used a dodgy version. Sorry, sorry, Isotope.
Oh, I'm sure they don't mind now. You're a fully paid up member.
Yeah. And I've spent a lot of money with them since.
Ideally,
I do like Neutron actually, the visual mixer. I was mixing my next album yesterday, and I've got into the habit of always doing with the visual mixer. There are a few things it won't do because I haven't got the latest version. I think I've got Neutron. Are they on 4 or 3? Can't remember which
I
one.
can't remember.
I have to use a couple of workarounds if I want to sort of move things across. sound field and stuff like that. But
Yeah, $50 off Falcon.
yeah, the next one
Coupon,
falls
right?
the next one. Sorry, what was that, Dave?
Oh, nothing. I was just looking. I got a $50 off Falcon coupon. Keep that in my back pocket.
Yeah. Can't believe Jamiroquai's debut album is 30 years old today.
Oh, shut up.
30 years.
Jeez.
I was never a fan of Jamiroquai, but they did a track for, was it Going Down that they did for an for a
Deep.
movie?
Deeper Underground for
Deeper
Godzilla.
Underground. Great song, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant. Loved
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
I remember hearing Emergency for Planet Earth. I think I borrowed it from the library on CD. And I just, what is this? This is amazing. The musicianship. And Stuart Zender's bass is just unbelievable. He was such a good bass player. Still is, I'm sure, but he's not with Jamiroquai anymore. But, and that voice, I mean, he really did sound like a young Stevie Wonder.
He did. I agree with you. Yeah, he did.
Just an amazing
Yeah.
voice. That whole album, just brilliant. 30 years.
No, it's too much. Too much. Always
Too late.
too much.
Too much. Too late.
Too much.
Too much. Too young.
I tell you what, Jamiroquai was a good player though.
Yeah.
On time.
That's all you want.
That's all you want, innit? But this
Yeah.
fucking old Fender Rhodes they had, Jesus Christ Almighty! They kept bringing it back and it kept falling apart. Get a new one. No, I like this one.
When I interviewed Matt Johnson, it was around about the time that Rhodes announced the version, the 8, and I knew he played. He had some sort of electric piano, Fender type electric piano. So I asked him. I said, "Oh, are you going to be getting one of these?" Completely not realizing he's an ambassador for Vintage Vibe. And he was so polite and so diplomatic. He said, "I'm sure it's a great instrument. No, I shan't be getting one of those." And afterwards, I said, "Oh, any reason?" He says, "Yeah, vintage." Oh, of course, because he's got. They actually make a Matt Johnson Vintage Vibe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the old Fenders though. I mean, talk about a classic example of if you got something right, fucking leave it alone.
Yeah.
Because when they did the Mark II, it was like, oh god.
Is that the one? Because I remember playing. I never owned a Fender Rhodes, and I played a few in studios. I played one, and it was honestly, it was a bag of. It was like hitting hammer. It was literally like hitting hammers. It was terrible. The action was appalling.
That's
I don't know
probably the Mark II.
Mark II.
Yeah. What they did was they thought, oh, let's stop messing around with this bloody wood stuff. Let's make the keys out of high density polystyrene. And it was like, it was just like playing a cutlery drawer.
It was really hard to get any feel out of it.
Yeah, it was awful.
I mean, I remember
Because you'd hit it lightly and you go, oh, that's too light. So you
Yeah,
go
yeah,
to hit
yeah,
it a little harder, and then
Yeah.
it was like, fucking hell. It was
Yeah.
like really loud. It couldn't get a balance on it. Yeah, Mark II didn't hang around too long, thank Christ. So, yeah. Right old pain in the arse.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It really pisses me off now that you sit down, you play a bit of music and go, oh, they're dead now.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm getting old.
Or you're surprised that they're still alive.
Well, it's one or the other, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mind you, you don't have to be alive now,
Well, no.
apparently, do you?
I got a bit worried this afternoon because I saw this announcement on Peter Gabriel's page And it was with great regret. I was like, oh, what? No, they've cancelled the Nottingham gig. Apparently, Motor City.
Is it this weekend that you're going?
Yeah, well, I'm going on to see him on Monday. At the O2.
Mm.
I think he's in Birmingham. It's Birmingham, Manchester, or Birmingham, Dublin. I don't know. And then Nottingham was going to be Saturday, Friday or Saturday. I can't remember. But yeah, they've cancelled. And there's some grumpy people who are blaming poor ticket sales. I'm thinking, Peter Gabriel, poor ticket sales.
I can't believe it's poor ticket sales. I'm actually
I don't think so, no.
Unless because it was expensive. I mean, I've got proper pauper seats, nosebleeds, back corner, and they were something like 90 odd quid each.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, actually, it's interesting you say that because I was looking at the Brian Eno tickets, and the cheapest I could get was 90 quid. Most of them were up to 160, and I just can't. I'd like to see Brian Eno, and I'd like to see this, the Sea with his orchestra, but I don't pay that sort of money,
Yeah.
I just can't afford to spend over 200 quid on 2 tickets,
Yeah, I was surprised he didn't. I saw where he was going, and I thought, oh, please do Snape Maltings, because that's literally next door to where he lives, and it'll be a nice little jaunt out to the coast to watch him at a venue that is ideal for that sort of thing. But no, he's doing all the big ones, all the shame.
Shame. Indeed.
Oh.
Well, the Slate Raven is still behaving.
Good.
And it hasn't done. It's you have reached your 1 million tap limit. Please reboot the computer. What the fuck?
Did you do that?
Apparently.
Yeah, I've never seen it do it before. But it came out. You reached your 1 million tap. I said I haven't touched the screen. And then it'll go like that every now and again. Oh, here we go. We was doing it last night, wasn't it? The Cubase was just firing off by itself.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I just bought a Hydrocent.
Did you? Which one? Good man. You'll love it.
49 key one.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
No, yeah.
No, it's cool. It's cool. It's good. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was like $1,000 basically with tax.
Yeah, that's what I've got. 49 key one.
Mate, it's got the CV and gate on it as well. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
No, it's a good choice. I just kind of on a whim put an offer.
I'm always surprised.
I was just like, man, maybe I should cancel it. And I was like, no, it's too late.
There's quite a lot of people. I mean, I've seen on quite a few of the forums people saying, "Oh, I don't like the sound of it." I'm thinking, it sounds amazing. It sounds great. I mean, they were clever with that first patch.
Well, I really want to work on a proper size keyboard with a Poly too. Even though the other thing will be cool to mess around with, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
I mean, I can work with the mini keys, but I do find my fingers get kind of cramped and, almost running into each other at times. It's really bizarre. You're just like, geez.
Yeah,
they do an octave, and you're like an octave and a half.
Yeah.
Geez.
I mean, I've got quite big hands, but I've never had any trouble with mini keys. I mean, and I've got what's the Korg 61 note mini key, the Micro Composer, which I don't use very often, but I've used it live on stage with a Cross as the main keyboard, and that doing organ and other things. And I've switching between the two. I've never found an issue really. And actually, I do probably more solos on the mini key. So I never really had a problem with it. But everybody's different,
I don't. I mean, I don't not buy a synth because of the mini keys.
Yeah.
I have a couple of them, and I do like them for the size, and I play with them, but sometimes they get a little bit. I don't know. I feel like my hands start getting a little more cramped because they're just. I'm kind of crunching them together a little bit in a way that's not really normal, but It's fine. No, I still like them a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
For what they are. But I mean, I think if I wanted if I wanted to get a real poly, I'd rather have something. So we'll see. I'll get a chance to try it out finally.
I'm enjoying the Microfreak.
The micro,
great.
yeah.
It's great.
Oh,
I mean,
it's
pity it hasn't got MPE. But I can live with that.
it's
I've got plenty of other things that do MPE, but and it's just, and it needs effects, and I've got bought an effect pedal to do that. But I use it at the gig. It's great. It's really good. I just want to
had
spend more
one.
time with it.
I really liked it a lot. I had it. I ended up getting the new freak, but no, I think it's really. I mean, there's just no reason to really crap on it. To be honest with you, it's really.
Actually, I quite like the idea of the keyboard as well, because it's different, and I quite like different keyboards. So they did the right thing by having something that's that's sort of touch sensitive, but it's not like a conventional keyboard, and it's not like a instrument. It's something different, and I really quite like that about it.
Oh yeah, it definitely will kind of make you play a little differently.
Yeah,
There's
it does.
no way around it, and I really did like that about it. I think I was going through a little purge. And they got kind of, but I had nothing bad to say about it, to be honest. And I think I kind of figured I could just get another one. And then the Mini Freak came along, and I was like, oh, I bought it immediately. Definitely do not.
I liked your little video with the dog.
Oh.
That was fun.
Oh, you mean where I was doing the tapping thing?
Yeah.
So it's funny. I worked. I had to sit with the touche and actually play it for several hours just to get. Like every time I tried to record, I just realized how difficult it was. So what was funny, I was like, I'm going to do some paradiddles, and it was kind of hard to get it right, and I was really working hard with the settings and the sensitivity, and then I thought I'd hit record, and I played it, and it was just the mic on the phone, and I was like, oh, that's kind of fun, cool. Like you can hear the paradiddles, or they're like paradiddles, and then but then I was like, yeah, it's kind of boring. I need something, and then I found Cindy's and I was like, this is so low budget, but it's entertaining,
Because I've never played a touche, so it's quite interesting to see it being used.
It's I will say, for me, when I was working with it, I probably had to concentrate harder than I've had to for a long time. And I'm not like a natural pianist, but I had that thing, I had my right hand, and then I had my pedal, and they're all, it's just a very strange instrument because you got to kind of engage it with your keys. So you have to learn how to time hits. And then if you throw in the sustain a little bit, it's a little different, so, but it was fun. I will say I really enjoyed, and same with the Continue Mini, I really enjoyed working my brain that way. And the thing with both of them is they require light touch. Like you have to start light and then kind of find the right spot. So it's difficult though. I'll say the touche, I really was like, oh man, I can almost feel my, my hand, after about 30 minutes, I was like, oh, I got to take a break. That's a lot to process.
That's what I was like when I started the instrument, just getting the amount of, because I never played it before I bought it. I just bought it, which was probably the wrong thing to do. But where could I go and I should play one? There were only two places in the UK you could get it at that time. One was in Scotland and the other was in London. So I bit the bullet and bought it. And I got it home, and it turned up, and I thought, oh, it feels much harder than I expected it to, considering it's 5-point MPE. And it just took a while to sort of get all of the articulation stuff that you really want.
Yeah, because what I find with them, and I haven't played with them a lot, but I am now starting to go over there 30, 40 minutes a day and play with them. So I had some assumptions in my head how I thought I was supposed to touch them and approach it, and then all of a sudden, I keep working with it. I was like, like, and usually it was like you got to go even lighter, and then every once in a while that dial on the touche. I think you've had one, Kev, right?
Yeah.
If it moves, that changes the sensitivity.
Yeah.
It is like the one it comes with is pretty hard. Like you got to really put some pressure on it. And
Yeah.
apparently they have different ones, but I kind of prefer it that way. I wouldn't want to touch it and have it all of a sudden like sag on me.
Yeah.
But I got to imagine the Osmos is going to be very similar in that, because I think with all these instruments, you tend to go into them and press them too hard at first, and then you have to go through presets, and they're different.
Mhm.
And then you really start. I don't know. For me, like I start to go, wow, this is really kind of mind blowing what this thing is doing sometimes. So I you want to show it, but then you try to do it, and it's just like, like you put your hand up and you go back down, and it's like, and you're just like, delete.
Well, from what I've been hearing, the Osmos, I mean, it will sound, if you touch it just so lightly,
Yeah.
it will still sound.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a whole new learning curve. It'll be like
It will be. That's what's going to happen.
when I went from a conventional keyboard to
To rolling.
the Roly.
Yeah.
It's going to be like that, but at least it will be keys this time.
Yeah.
But I
mean,
think
I
there's a
couldn't
lot
get-
of
I couldn't
depth
get
to
on
the
with the
keys
Roly.
as well.
There is, yeah.
Yeah, for about 2 solid days, I thought I am never ever going to be able to play this.
No.
And then there was some sort of eureka moment, and then it's like, oh, hang on. It's when I really stopped thinking about what I was doing, just let it happen. It's like, oh, hang on a minute, I'm getting sort of like building a muscle memory for it or something.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm starting to learn is that it's, and then again, you change a preset on some of these,
Yeah,
and they have different sensitivity, especially if you get in the Egan matrix, because it's just wildly different, and it can be frustrating, but if you just kind of let go a little bit and say, no, that's I'm going to pick a few presets and I'm going to start here. What I could do on the Touche that I can't do on the Egan matrix is kind of go into their mapping real quick and say, I'm going to change the linear curve, or I'm going to change the sensitivity, because you can kind of say, okay, I only want it to get to 70% of the curve,
yeah,
and then freeze. So you can kill the spikes if you figure out where you can cheat a little bit, but then you start playing a little dynamically, and you're like, no, I got to raise it. Like, it's
Yeah.
So, but to me, what's cool about all that stuff is it really does kind of make you, just makes you play a little differently, challenges.
I quite like that about it.
Yeah, me too. I always like kind of quirky.
Dave, have you got the CS80V?
Not the V. I've got CS80. You mean on Arturia?
Yeah.
I got like version 2 or something.
Oh, okay.
I might. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Well, I'm just thinking, because when you get your Hydra,
I'll probably
that
just.
is
I
an
still need to
experience.
do that. I
Yeah,
need to do that.
I'm
I've
not
done it
kidding
yet,
you.
but-
It was almost like Arturia went, what keyboard should we make this sound perfect for?
Yeah.
Honest to God. Yeah. I mean,
No,
I-
I can upgrade it. I think it's really cheap too, because I have a few of those individual ones, and
yeah.
so it's not. I'll definitely try that.
Mhm. Yeah, but it really, wow, does it work? Really, really well.
Yeah. it's
Right, I'm going to disappear for a bit, guys, and go make Jane a cup of tea.
All right, Don.
But I'll put that later.
Good man. You're going to
See you
do an
later,
Ian.
guys. I'm going to do an Ian.
Yeah.
Ta-da.
See you later, buddy.
See.
It's still so sore. Oh, you little bugger.
Oh, your foot. Yeah. How's it? Is it improving?
It is improving. I can almost use the expression pedal for at least 5 minutes before I have to stop.
Think about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, it was wow. Yeah. So, but I must admit, I'm really quite pleased with the way things have worked out. It's so much elbow room.
It feels a lot more.
Yeah, it's really it's much more spacious now. There isn't tons and tons and tons of shite everywhere and cables hanging down all over the place.
Yeah,
So-
it gets. You hit a breaking point sometimes.
Yeah.
It
Well, it
just-
ended up being too much in here, basically.
Yeah.
So, but unfortunately, the landing looks like a bomb site. But she's really going to town with the decorating on that. Yes, I know. Just because I fired up that CS80V, right? It's gone. You have 61 updates. Yeah. Okay.
I know. I want to. I like the way you have that set up because I know it's pretty traditional to have like a nice controller and a computer, but I've never really been able to do that here. So
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I might finally pull this thing out because and free up the space, move some things around so I can actually make a computer because am finally using the computer, which I never used to do. You know?
Yeah.
But
well, there's definitely things that the computer can do in the studio that is of absolute benefit that some hardware just cannot do for you.
Yes, I mean some of it too, just the way they have things programmed.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was listening to some of the recordings back just when I was messing around, and it's all just virtual. You notice I'm going right into the phone, and I was like, "Oh God, man, that sounds like spatially." I'm like, wow, this is cool shit sounding. I can do that with hardware, but it's hard. Like you got.
I got them from Amazon.
Where did you get those sound? Oh,
yeah, Amazon. I thought, wow, they're not too expensive. It's about 32 quid a pack. And it did so many square meters. I thought, oh, okay, it cost about 60 quid. No, it didn't. If you're more conservative about it and use them as panels, where you actually need acoustic dampening, yes, it won't cost you quite as much as this lot did. Because it's all across here as well. I'm going, do you know what? I think that's a nice wallpaper. And just like, Rah! I'll put it on the ceiling next. They just went to town with it. So I've got another 48 of them sitting on the back porch that I've got to bring up yet. Oh, another one come off today. Who picked F3? You've won a prize if you picked F3. And there's a couple of dodgy looking ones over there. I think it's the CS80 that's holding them against the wall.
you could play like virtual checkers or something.
Yeah.
All right. 48 on the porch.
That should be at least an occupier. We want to dodgy mode. Nice.
I haven't bought almost anything this year. Just little tiny things, right? It's okay.
Yeah, but that's what I said to myself. I haven't bought anything this year, just tiny things. And then I go and look at what I've bought, and I go, holy fuck. It's a lot of tiny things.
Yeah, no, I've been good this year. I need to sell a little bit of modular, but I still feel like it.
Yeah.
I got to get in the selling is like one of those things. You really got to kind of get in the groove, and then you get really annoyed, and then you pack up some crap, and then you're just like, all right, we'll put it all on.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care.
I don't know. It's all good fun in the end.
Yeah.
It's not a bad model, I still think it's one of the better ones. Yeah. It's as good as being over there, really. There's obviously certain elements that it won't be able to achieve, but It's good enough. I noticed there was one for 54,000 on eBay this week,
It's-
but at least they didn't mention my name in it this time, so I didn't have 9,000 phone calls. Can you tell me what you did to it? Yeah, I made it work. Fuck off.
Oh yeah, no, you're not. I'm not doing that. It's repaired. Okay.
Yeah. Do you want me to list every IC I put in it? Did you?
Yeah. No.
Are you sitting comfortably, children? Then I will begin.
Or you can start charging to even discuss it. So yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be like $200 just to have a conversation.
Yeah. So, mind you, today I would have taken any telephone call that would take me away from that fucking white-faced odyssey. To be honest.
Yes. We got a third dog. So we ended up getting a third dog. So we got 3 dogs and
Wait.
that going for us. Little.
Just
Little
realised
one,
my
is it?
mic was on mute. I'm chatting away there, and
Oh no.
Oh.
yeah, thank you, Aggie. No, I was just saying. You said anything that would have taken you away from that odyssey. Well, I did when I called you,
Yes, you did.
but only when I called you on the landline because you weren't answering.
Yeah, do you know what it was?
Go on. What's the excuse this time?
No, honest to God, this drives me insane, right? It will lock on to... Because in the morning, I go downstairs, have a cup of coffee, and I go and sit in the front room, right?
Mhm.
And the iPad locks onto Ken Fiona Network Hub. When I go down to the workshop, right? If I'm just outside the workshop, which I was on the grass there working rather than in the workshop, it stays locked onto it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a hub like 3 feet away from it that it won't connect to, right? And because of that, it acts like it's not connected to the internet.
So
But if I took that iPad and I'd put it here beside me, it would have connected to that and it would have gone ping
so
when
is
you,
it a
when you
different
contact me.
SSID for that one that's down there?
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, you want to get some mesh installed, and then it's the same SSID wherever you go, and then you won't have that problem.
Yeah.
I've got these. Actually, at the moment, mine are redundant because I tried them on my new hub, and it took the broadband speed from 300 kilobits, 300 megabits down
Yeah.
to 90,
All right.
and I couldn't figure out what it was. I'd turned the Wi-Fi off on the hub,
Mm.
so it wasn't like interference, unless turning it off wasn't actually turning it off. But I couldn't
Was
get.
it throttling it or something?
No, I don't know what it was. It's as soon as I plugged in the first mesh unit, because you plug it in via Ethernet,
Yeah.
and I locked onto the network SSID for the mesh. It gets in there. I do a speed test, 90 megabits per second. Take it off and let it reconnect to the actual hub itself. 300. So I don't know whether I need to do a factory. They've stopped making this model now, so it's like they're not going to do another firmware for it. So I don't know. I can't understand. I've looked on, various places and can't seem to get an idea of what's going on. So, but the thing is, because it is such a good hub, which is weird because it's actually a BT hub, but it's not a BT hub.
Right.
It's PlusNet, because PlusNet
Okay.
are owned by BT, but they're run as a separate individual company. But what they're doing is they're taking the BT, it's called Hub 2, with a sort of circle thing in it,
Yeah.
and they're just making it in white and sticking PlusNet in purple on, rather than making it in black and putting BT on. So it's the same bloody thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's really good.
Well,
And-
this is what drives me mad, because I used to have this little Virgin box, and it used to be right in the corner of the front room here, and it was in behind glass doors on top of a DVD player, in the corner of the room under the TV, right? And I would have my lappy or whatever, and I could go down to the garden, go down to the workshop, out the back of the workshop, out the back gate and out onto the path there, and I've still got internet. Then they change it to this new BT hub, which is a big stand-up thing, right? Big lump. and oh yeah, got all the faster speeds and everything like that. And I have before now with the iPad, because the iPad has the decency to tell you, is that I can walk over to the back door in the kitchen, and it drops out and starts hunting for another signal.
Yeah.
And it was like, are you fucking kidding me? And yeah, so it does. There's this weird area halfway down the garden where if you're there with the iPad, and it's still it hasn't let go of the one in the front room, so it won't connect to the one in the workshop. Even though normally, if I walk into the workshop, it connects automatically like that. So what's this? Yes, I know. Thank you. Yes, I have 61 updates. So that's practically every instrument, I think, isn't it? In the in Arteria 9.
Yeah, mostly.
Jesus.
Yes. They've been putting heat on me to update my FX collection. You're running out of time, Dave. You know that. You didn't need to tell me that.
I must admit, with this new setup, I have done one thing where I planned ahead. I've left this keyboard tray free for the Osmos.
Oh, yes.
Still waiting for the bloody email.
It's weird
When
that
I-
I've actually played an Osmos and you haven't.
Yeah. But I mean, I went to my account and it'd gone from, it said, sort of like the last couple of weeks of, or the last week of May.
Mhm.
And it goes, you have an update. I went, oh, cool. And it goes, probably last week of June now. Okay. All right, whatever. Because I know there's some poor sods have been waiting 3 years for this fucker. You know, where I'm waiting, 6 months.
Yeah.
But I really, really, really want to try it. I really want to get my hands on one.
Yeah.
It is good. I have to say, I was expecting to be disappointed because everyone had said how wonderful it is, and they'd been saying how amazing it is or will be
Yeah.
for such a long time. And then, after we'd spoke with Ty, I thought, oh, actually, what he said is true, and I have no reason to doubt that. This is actually quite fun, and I wasn't actually expecting to play it when I went to play it, but we came out of the the UDO bungalow Dorf, or the bungalow in the bungalow Dorf, and I said, "Oh, where should we go next, Ben?" And he said, "Well, I don't know." And then I sort of turned around, and when I came back, Ben had gone. He has a tendency to do that. He just wanders off.
Yeah.
He is like your favourite granddad. Yeah, he'll just wander off, and he's not going to come into any harm, but he's just wandered off. And he's
Like
gone
him talking
next
to
door.
a tree somewhere.
Yeah. And he'd gone next door into the Hacken bungalow.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Or Harken. Or whatever.
Oh, that's for eyebrows.
Harken.
Yeah.
And Harken, yes. And in the middle of their thing, they've got a continuum and a continuini. On the opposite side, they've got an Osmos. I said, oh, look, there's an Osmos. Because nobody had gone there nobody had gone there to play the Osmos. Whereas if you'd probably gone to the Expressive E place, loads of people probably been playing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we just walked right in, and Ben's like, "Hey, listen to this. I'm Hans Zimmer." And it was this big old, whatever, kind of that sort of bra thing.
He didn't mean it, by the way.
Yeah, sorry, Hans. And it was just like, I was like, ooh. So I waited for him to finish, and I got on it, and it really is. It's just wonderfully expressive, and you can tell straight away. I mean, I'm lucky because I'm not a trained keyboard player, and therefore I haven't had it drummed into me over years and years and years. This is how you play. I'll just approach anything and go, well, how does this work? And
Exactly the same.
you don't have to unlearn it,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, this is, and if I do that, if I kind of dig into, oh look, there's that happens, or if I move it, or if I rub my finger on the, if I play the keys at the back, oh, that's nice,
Yeah.
and it really was a very, very pleasant experience.
And that's really the case for all both companies' stuff. They're just really, it's it's wild sometimes.
I tried the Continuum.
I didn't like it.
I didn't like it because there's no definition,
Yeah.
physical definition.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hard. It's hard. I mean,
Yeah.
that stuff is definitely not.
Yeah.
And I'm
No, I
lazy.
think this is better, but
And you know what I hated even less was that little one they did.
The
the
Continuum
mini. Well, that's what I've got. But I will. Yeah, it's really hard to play.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because Andrew
looked it.
Ward, Art Quadra, Andrew Ward, he bought one at Synthfest last year, and he sold it within 6 months. And he was like
Not-
really properly excited when he bought it. Oh yeah, I've got this. I've got a really good price on it and everything.
Yeah.
6 to 8 months later, got rid.
But you know what's cool about it, because I've kept mine, trying to work through the mini. What's cool, every once in a while you'll get to a certain preset, and it's duophonic. And if you put a little, especially if you put a little effects in it, it just sounds mad. It's just like there is so much, you just kind of hit it, and there's so much modulation and stuff going on, so much timbre. It's just like, holy shit. But it is, the problem with it is it's hard to replicate. It's really hard to understand how to do it again consistently. And then you've got such little play, and if it's not quantized, you just can hit a bad note. It's really, I kind of look at it. It was funny, Yo had his little one on the show today.
Oh, right.
And he kind of approached it the way that I kind of think of it. He's like, yeah, every once in a while I need something kind of just textural or just something a little bit, he's like, and I just kind of pull this out and hit it. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of, I wouldn't go on stage with that thing. So I imagine I think it's funny. The Hawken people are really, they're not defensive. If anything, they've been really awesome, supportive of the Osmos, but they will, tell you right away, they're just not the same, and you can't, you're not going to get them to sound the same. They don't really approach it, and the Osmos is better.
But in many ways, I think what the Hawken did was it kind of loosened that rusty bolt where everybody was just like stuck in making keyboards that were note on, note off.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't it? There wasn't much going on. You could have mono aftertouch, I suppose. It's all like yeah, woo. It's up to a point. That's fine. But with that, then they bring that thing out, and then there seemed to be more interest across the industry about this poly aftertouch thing that people used to mess about with 20 years ago. Maybe it is an idea to see if we can bring it back.
I mean, to me, for sure, when I play it, I feel more like I feel when I play an acoustic guitar or something with my limited. It feels like that, where you can easily. I know we talk about the fretless, but even on a more simplistic level, it has that textural feel at times where I just like, whoa, man, that feels so good. If I hit this right, there's overtones and things happening that when it's not that you can't get it on a keyboard, it's just different, And a lot of it is that software. People, I know we've talked about it, but I think they're not respecting how deep that software really is and how much of it is about that software too.
Yeah.
And that is exactly why they picked it. But I think people will scramble now. It's already happening. So it's just different, and I just, it's hard to, like I said, I can understand why people would not like the Hawken, especially the Continuum Mini. It's not, if you approach it more like, I've got a xylophone and every once in a while I pull it out and, it does what a xylophone does, you know what I mean? I'm not going to become a xylophone player, and it can surprise you on maybe getting somewhere that you were trying to go, But yeah, it's that's why I wanted to try the poly, because I was like, well, I've got the 8 voices in this, so why not just hook it up to MIDI, screw the little controller, because it kind of is hard to play anyways. But you can also play them both, apparently, so that's kind of crazy. As long as you know
Yeah.
it's all right. So, I don't know, maybe I'll become a wizard on that. It's not gonna happen. It's the challenge though, isn't it? It's kind of like getting back to your roots of how you started to play instruments and
Mm.
just, you know what I mean, that challenge of playing kind of the dynamics, the physical nature, you know, of playing to me, which is super cool, you know,
Yeah.
because I'm only so down with clips and launches and all that just gets really, you know, the idea of like composing in a computer, I do understand it because I've done a little bit, but it still feels really kind of life sucking
Yeah.
for me. I don't know. So
No, I
who
mean-
knows? Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, there's always throughout history of the synth anyway. There's been that trade-off. I mean, when I started off, I had this. I think I was 2, and we had this piano in the front room. We used to play with it, and I was really heartened actually when I was talking to Richard Hilton about it, and he said he used to do exactly the same thing, which was I used to like playing underneath the keyboard and pinging strings and rubbing stuff up and down the strings and then listening to it and stuff like that. I could just about reach the keys and I could play like this sort of thing, but I didn't know what I was playing.
Yeah.
But there was lots of depth and expression in it. But that I had to when you think about it, you have to sacrifice that when synthesizers eventually came. You go, you want that new breadth of sound, but you know. Oh, you want dynamics? Oh, no. I'm sorry, you can't have it. You can't have velocity. No. Or nothing like that. There will be no difference in volume and pitch. You know, when you push the keys, they're simply on and off, whatever. But you had pitch wheel, you had modulation wheel, and you go, yeah, and all that sort of thing. But then you wanted polyphonic, and the only thing really available would be, well, technically organs or string synths. And they didn't have. Then you go, yeah, but you can't have modulation and pitch on them. It'll just be note on note off. It's like, fucking hell, trade off. But in the last few years, now you can have it all.
Oh yeah.
You know, and there's now so much of it. It's just like sort of like it's the kid in the sweet shop syndrome. You know, just don't you spend instead of eating sweets, just stand there sort of like going, I don't know which sweets to have.
Yeah, even some of the macro oscillator things that are starting to get put into things, just being able to do more advanced modulation techniques, but quicker, you know. But it is getting harder. I never got good with the modulation wheel. I can never do I just never did it that much that I mean, you watch these people that do it, and it's just like, wow. It's crazy. Like they work it so great. Like especially the mini mode people. But yeah, no, I don't know. It's fun. I also just it's fun to just try out this stuff and just kind of know for yourself, because you just can't. Otherwise, you're just talking crap on the air. You know, if you've never tried it, it's like that's probably the biggest argument. You know.
Yeah.
Even the hydrosynth, it's like either I'm just not going to know till I really soon.
Yeah. I was trying to explain to a customer. I think it was a few months ago. It must be now. And he was talking about he wanted to get a controller. I said, well, what sort of software are you going to be using on it? You know, and he said, well, you know, just the usual stuff. And okay, but are you going to be using things like, you know, like piano libraries, for instance, and stuff like that? He said, oh yeah. I said, well, then you really want a proper weighted controller. And he's going, no, I was thinking of maybe, you know, the Native Instruments S61 or something like that. I said, well, that's not quite going to do it for you. If you're looking for the realism, if you're just looking for the, you know, the notes to happen and maybe, you know, some velocity on it, then fine. And he's going, yeah, but, you know, and so, you know, he couldn't make up his mind. And I said, well, look, there's the SL88. If you're going to focus in piano, SL88, mate, because it's like owning a grand piano in front of you when you play the thing. And he says, oh yeah, but it's a bit that might be a bit heavy. I want something that's lighter anyway. And it's sort of like, yeah, but because there's so many different types of controllers, and each sort of controller will specialize in different areas, or work better on certain sounds or instruments, or representation of instruments than others. This is why you end up with 30,000 fucking different controllers knocking around. You know, and they go, oh yeah, that works better with this software. And
what's really bizarre is if you actually go to a shop and start playing the weighted synth ones. Within seconds, even if you're not I grew up with a piano in the house, but they're so different all of a sudden. You really can, all of a sudden you go, this one, like, wow, that's really mushy. No, that's not as, whereas I think if you just took it home, you'd be like, oh yeah, it's kind of nice. But then you like, oh man, these are really different. Like, I'm not even sure which one I like better. I think it's this one. And then you go back and no, I don't like that anymore.
Yeah.
But, and then you just go, I just want a piano. That's what but some of them are really good. Yeah, at some point you just got to make a decision and get something, or else you're just.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, even I know that, I mean, the SL stuff is Studio Logic is normally the getting close to the top of the tree when it comes to like high quality piano based type controllers. But to be honest with you, the Clavinova leaves it in the dust for me. The Clavinova keyboard is fantastic, and but it's not even wood, and it's not even the full depth keyboard. It's a really short keyboard as well. It's the hammer is underneath the key. Yeah, weirdly, sort of like it goes back on itself rather than up the front. But the action of that keyboard is fantastic, and yet if I'd stuck that Clavinova out the front there and say free to anybody who wants to give it a home, it will rot into the ground before anybody take it. Yeah, I'm just like can't get my head around it.
Well, I'm gonna have to love you and leave you because I am shattered.
Yeah, it is knocking on, isn't it?
Tired.
And it is a school night, isn't it?
I went to bed. I was late to bed last night because of this. And then I completely forgot that we had a boiler service, and they didn't tell us what time he was coming. He arrived at 8:15 this morning. I'm like, because so I'd only been in bed for.
Yeah, I had a guy this morning turn up for his CS70 and his Selena string synthesizer, not string synthesizer, one with all the controls on the front. He turned up this morning, picked that up. I think it was about 5 to 9 or something like that. And I was like, oh God, I've got to get the trolley out, hobble down to the workshop, load it up, hobble back up with it, and get it through the door, fighting off bloody 4 dogs.
Yes.
Get it through the headlock, get it out to him, get it into the van, then go down again and get the other one. It's like, yeah, long day.
Indeed. Anyway,
all right then.
I will see you when I see you. Well, if it's on before, every Friday. And,
Indeed, yes.
Have a good one. See you later,
all right,
guys.
Everyone, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.